The Fantasy Footballer Studio is brought to you by Amazon Prime. Welcome to the Fantasy Footballers Podcast with your hosts, Andy Holloway, Jason Moore, and Mike Wright.
Welcome in. Monday, December 2nd. Fa la 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 la.
La 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 la.
See, now I'm on board. Now the tree is up. Hot cocoa and
the music,
jingle bells, and the music in the car every day and around the house, and Home Alone on the television set, and we've got candy canes, and now we're here.
We watched Elf this weekend
Very nice.
with my family, which I've seen dozens of times. I don't know, but I think it had been a couple years since I really sat down and watched, not just like on in the background. I watched that movie. Holy crap, that movie's so good.
It is.
It is so funny.
Yes.
Every 30 seconds is just a banger.
'Tis the season. Mike had his lonesome Jack in the Thanksgiving.
I wasn't very lonesome. I mean, I felt great.
Well,
Lonesome implies feeling sad and alone, and
you had your games, and you had your
And
Jack
Jack was
burger.
with you.
yeah.
We had apparently Spatchcock got to 10 on the holiday trending terms.
No. We got to 9.
Did we?
Yeah.
We got to number 9.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jason.
Yeah.
Appreciate that. How did your spatchcocked turkey turn out?
It was excellent. It was fantastic. And then this week I had 2 Thanksgivings. And so for Sunday I had to spatchcock another one.
What, you double spatchcock?
I double spatchcocked.
All right.
The problem was the bird was
Were
not.
you better the second time?
No, I was much worse.
What?
The bird was not fully thawed. And if you try cutting out a spine and breaking a breastbone of a frozen bird, I was literally on the ground trying to like CPR this thing
with leverage?
for leverage.
Oh, my gosh.
It was insane.
Well, the hashtag Spatchcock giveaway winners will be announced on tomorrow's show. Thanks to everybody who participated, who listened to the Megalodon episode, who shared their shared their tweets with us over the weekend. Hopefully it was a great holiday weekend. We had Thursday football, we had Friday football, we had Sunday, and we got a game tonight. We have a lot of reactions to the weekend. We've got one more week until the fantasy playoffs. And last year was an adventure. We had all the drama with Papa Josh and myself going down the stretch, and Ed's not there this year because he's not sniffing the playoffs. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Any thoughts there, Papa Josh?
I don't remember any drama, man.
Yeah, no, the people remember the drama. It was a good time. What else do we got going on? We've got a reminder here. Head to jointhefoot.com if you want to get in on the ultimate dashboard, the extra weekly episodes, the premium tools down the stretch. You can do that. And a reminder to download the mobile app on Android or iOS. You can get the free mobile app. And then if you are a member at jointhefoot.com, you can log in and access all the unique and special tools. We will, Jason was out of town this weekend, so we didn't watch the games together. Mike and I were together cheering on Bryce Young.
Oh, man. It was so much fun. And, I mean, a disappointing ending for the Panther faithful. I mean,
in some ways.
It's
actually better, right?
It could literally be the best case scenario of this last – I mean, that game, look at Bryce Young. Look at this dude making real professional quarterback throws, anticipation throws, and then you still got the loss, which is
we've been there as Cardinal fans where it's like you're rooting for a real good-looking game where we come up with a loss.
Just a little short at the end because you don't want to screw up that draft pick.
So, no, that was fun. Mike and I were watching all the games, and we have your reactions to the weekend as we always do.
I'm sure they're calm and measured.
They're the best. Starting with Jaywin Daniels.
Okay.
All right.
Rico Waddle.
Yes. Wait a minute. Nico Suave?
Hey, Nico got it down.
That's Rico's name.
Hey, listen, James Spatchcooked.
Oh, yes, he did. This guy went Buck Wild Irving.
Yes. Good luck, Mike.
Nick Westbrook TD-Nay.
And Mike Heavens.
A classic.
Brock Powers.
Oh, Manthony Richardson?
Yes, and Josh Almighty.
That's good. This one. Oh my gosh, Atheist McCaffrey. That's
man.
And I'll take a Ken Grown Walker.
Oh, you missed Christian McGlassney.
Oh, I did.
Cooper Crap.
Pooper Cup.
Oh, Cooper Cup of farts. That one's just.
Why we don't get a Cooper Cup so much?
Bust Edwards.
Yeah.
Oh, CD Bland.
Oh no. Lil Montana.
Lil Montana.
And Will Dismal.
Kyle Sitz.
George Little.
And Jason, take us home.
Brees Small. Brees.
He was hurt.
Frightening. Brees frightening.
Brees frightening. Man, this dude has hurt me something special.
You are burned, and then the burns have burns. That's where you're at with Brees Hall because you have him where it counts.
See, sometimes for Thanksgiving, people want something special, and they choose to deep fry a turkey, which I have heard. I've never had a deep fried turkey. I've heard that is the pinnacle of finished product. And so Brees Hall this season is the deep fried turkey. You're taking that risk and that shot for the best of the best, but sometimes when people deep fry turkeys, it causes a massive fire and a burned bird, and that's all that my house is up in flames because of Brees Hall. I mean, I have him everywhere, and he has just wrecked my teams, and I'm just so hurt by it.
I think you brought this upon yourself. You have spent the last couple weeks besmirching Brees Hall, despite Week 11, him giving you over 27 points, goes into the bye week, and you're just like, oh, Brees Hall's so bad for my team. He said, you want bad? Fine, I'll give it to you.
So you think –
yes, I do.
So you think it wasn't that I was just correct. It was a personal payback from Brees.
Yes, it was a –
You should have heard Mike when he fumbled in the way that he fumbled and the ball went shooting forward. Mike was laughing at a disproportionate level at your expense.
Oh, yeah. Well, we were playing each other
enjoyed
this week. So my team that looked like, in the morning, I was going to roll to an easy dub. CeeDee Lamb went out. Brees Hall did nothing. And Baker sucked. And everything collapsed. So come on, Njoku.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing your reactions over on Instagram at Fantasy Footballers, over on X at the FF Ballers. Monday Punday gets posted every Sunday night, and you can share your reactions. This weekend it was fairly balanced. Honestly, there was just a ton of the reason there were all the Cooper Kupp puns is, one, that's a layup, and two, that was one of the bigger reactions was the Cooper Kupp. The other one that I don't think we even hit, right? Kenneth Walker's disappearing act was a huge part of the weekend.
I tweeted it out, but the Seattle Seahawks, like, we've all seen bad goal line sequences, but the Seattle Seahawks had just a chef's kiss
legendary
masterpiece here of 7 plays. No. Was it? Yes.
It might have been more.
7 or
at
8. At
least 7.
7 or 8 plays inside the 5. First and goal, all the way up to third, and then they got a penalty. Got closer.
Let's start it over.
Reset, and then went for it on fourth down. Got all the way to fourth down with just terrible play calls, and then turned the ball over on fourth down. And it was an unbelievable moment. How do you get inside the 5, get that many attempts, and turn the ball over on down?
It was the ground zone. I mean, you were upset, and then later on, Charbonnet got carries inside the 5. It's not been good for Ken Walker.
No.
And they can't block for him. And, just another one of the players that hurt people this week. Let's jump into some Ready to Roll.
Welcome to Ready to Roll, presented by Nissan.
Did you guys watch the Snow Bowl?
Yeah, I mean, it was one of the coolest plays of all time.
Yeah, the pass to himself.
Yes.
That was outrageous. But, players couldn't get their footing. Everything was like half speed.
Yeah, everything was set up for a Christian McCaffrey domination game.
Until
the final tackler who could have got him for a whatever that would have been, like a 60-yard rushing touchdown. Instead, he got his foot clipped and then hurt his little knee. And then now he's out. Now he's gone.
That sounds
That
like
was
a
Arnold.
man. Sounds like a man.
Now he's out.
Sounds like a man who's got him in a couple leagues.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. As the weather gets colder, you see that running back dependency increase even more. That's why we have the Yeti in this time of year. So we wanted to take a look and Ready to Roll at running backs over the last month and compare their workloads with the previous 9 weeks. Which running backs are actually getting a much more increased workload down the stretch, leading to more fantasy points per game, leading to maybe some playoff league winners. And then you've got the opposite, players whose workloads are going down right now. It's, I feel like in some ways Al Borland has kind of manifested this reality.
Oh, he really has.
But nobody's workload is increased or the production or their fantasy points per game more than Bucky Irving, who was averaging 12 opportunities a game through the first 9 weeks. It's up to 20-plus.
Absolute beast.
From the last 3 weeks. His fantasy points per game is sitting at 22.1 over the last 3 weeks. And I think this conversation is the most important one to have here, which is not just Bucky Irving being a league winner, but what I think I saw in Tampa, which is maybe how Baker Mayfield doesn't win you a title. Because the last 2 seasons, Tampa Bay has been dead last in efficiency running the football. It wasn't a choice to throw as much as they threw it. It was a necessity because they couldn't run the ball no matter what they did. Now, suddenly, you have one of the best running backs in football. Every play you watch Bucky Irving run it, he's breaking tackles. They're now the 5th highest rush rate over the last month. It's not that Baker's playing poorly.
He's still getting some volume, too.
It's just that they can win a game this way now. And when they need to, Baker got banged up. They don't have Godwin. But, Kate Otton's disappeared for 3 weeks, right? So They can win a game with Bucky Irving now, and Bucky Irving looks like a superstar.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about 28 opportunities this week, currently sitting as the running back 1 on the week after last week being the running back 3. Bucky Irving is all reliable. And 25 of those opportunities were handoffs, were carries. You had Rachaad White with only 11. So, he is their starting running back now.
Chase Brown's opportunities in the first 9 weeks, 14.6. They jumped. They're at 22.7 over the last 3 weeks. The heartbreak Bengals, who keep scoring 30-plus points and losing.
Feels so bad for Burrow.
I believe the stat was if you score 33-plus points, NFL teams are 51-1 this year, but the Bengals are 2-4 in those games.
Amazing.
So that's outrageous. I mean, they can't stop anybody. So those 2 names, I think, are the most significant ones where Chase Brown's involvement. He looks like a superstar.
I would add one other name of the opportunities that are increasing because Chase Brown, that was a little bit easier to see with the Zach Moss injury, but Rico Dowdle,
yeah, baby,
he has finally been given the job that he clearly should have had even earlier in the season. He's been doing well with it the last 2 weeks, very fantasy relevant, successful, and I expect that one to stick. I think he will continue as the main running back.
What's funny is that for the other running backs, Bucky Irving's fantasy points per game jumped from 9 to 22. Chase Brown from 11 to 17. You give Rico Dowdle 6 extra opportunities per game, his fantasy points per game have gone down a point. From 11 to 10.2.
That's over what?
That's
the 9 weeks. So, Rico's skyrocket is just been the past 2 weeks.
Well, I'm just saying he averaged 11 a game,
yeah.
weeks 1 through 9, and then 10.2 over the last 3 weeks.
Sure.
But, yes, his opportunities are going up. Bijan's have gone up 5 a game.
Rico's got a good
and
schedule.
You know who nobody wants to talk about? I don't know why. I don't know if they're just boring this year. Josh Jacobs. Josh Jacobs has got his opportunities going up. His production, he's gone from 13.4 fantasy points a game the first 9 weeks to 23.2. That's higher than Bucky Irving.
He is
touchdowns will
scoring a lot.
Which he was
now.
overdue.
Yeah, I mean,
he was one of those positive regression guys.
In the beginning of the season, we were talking about how the opportunities per touchdowns were not indicative of what should be the average for NFL running backs with Josh Jacobs, and you've seen it. Really, the pendulum has swung to the other side now.
Opportunities going downward over the last 3 weeks. Kyron Williams has seen his opportunities go down 6 a game. His fantasy points 6 a game.
And that's since Puka returned in Week 8, the Rams ranked top 5 in pass rate over expectation. So they're throwing the ball more. So his opportunities have gone from where he was 21, 15, 16, 16 the last 3 weeks. That seems like the more of the new normal. However, he looked great this week. Still got in the end zone, and
he had a massive fantasy day. The thing to watch will be not that Blake Corum got like this outlandish amount of work, but
had a random drive in the middle of the game.
Like a drive, and he had 8 carries, which that ties his season high. It was back in week 2, the game against Arizona. Trying to remember, I imagine that was because they got blown out.
That was the Cardinals blew him out.
Yeah, so they finally just like, okay, put Corum in, take the starters out. But this was 32% of the snaps for Corum here, and it was not a blowout. This was a competitive game, and they just put Corum in for a drive. So that will be interesting to watch if that plays out here for the final handful of games.
DeAndre Swift's opportunities have diminished, although you do have Roschon Johnson with a concussion on Thanksgiving. But you look at what Caleb Williams has done the last 2 weeks. I know they lose all their games, but in our league format, he's 35 fantasy points the last 2 weeks. You've seen Keenan Allen's resurgence. DeAndre Swift has not had. He's had 1 carry inside the 5 since week 7. So his opportunities are, you have to thread the needle for a big game from DeAndre Swift right now. And then let's talk about this one because I think it's explainable, but it could also be concerning because of the age and because of the, where the Cardinals are headed. But James Conner, his efficiency has gone down. His opportunities per game have gone down from 19 to 16. His fantasy points per game slipped a little bit. And yet Arizona has the easiest running back strength of schedule for the fantasy playoffs. And in fact, from weeks 14 through 17.
Yeah, I'm really not worried about James Conner's workload. If you look at, just yesterday's game against Minnesota, the Cardinals led most of the game, and he got 17 carries, but that was against a very difficult run defense. He was also involved in the passing game, so it was a little disappointing. But with that schedule coming up, the expectation of being favored in probably most of those games and easy rush defenses, I think you're going to have a lot of success.
And he just got the shmoney.
That's right.
He got the extension.
Congratulations, Mr. Connor. Yeah, Mike called that one here on the show.
Good work, James. Enjoy your money. But I'm with Jason. I think that James Conner is going to be perfectly fine.
I mean, he is so close to completing a season. Every week.
Whoa.
No. I'm not saying he will. I'm not going to jinx this. I'm just pointing out I think
you already did.
He's close.
No, I mean, Jason's right. There are only a handful of games left.
Hold on. James Conner.
5 games left.
Out for the season.
No. You know what's funny is he can accomplish both here. Just be here for the full fantasy season. You want to take the last week off due to injury.
Yeah, that's fine.
You can make sure you keep your streak going.
I like that.
All right, that was ready to roll. Thanks again to our sponsor, Nissan. Adventure calls in the first ever Nissan Rogue Rock Creek. Visit nissanusa.com to learn more. A reminder, intelligent all-wheel drive cannot prevent collisions or provide enhanced traction in all conditions. Always monitor traffic and weather conditions. We will take a break, then we'll jump into the news.
News and notes from around the league. Presented by USAA Insurance.
All right, we'll start with the turkey trauma. Roschon Johnson left with a concussion on Thanksgiving Day. He was getting more opportunities. That's unfortunate. CeeDee Lamb aggravated his right shoulder injury.
Yeah, he did.
And we'll see if he's back on the field next week. And
goodness gracious.
we have not – I mean,
we haven't even talked about it.
Yeah, with the Megalodon show, we didn't get to react to the Bears, the end of the game.
Oh, man.
Matt Eberflus was
Congrats, Lions
fired.
fans.
We've seen more, in my opinion, in the last 5 or 6 weeks, blocked field goals, missed field goals, and botched end-of-game scenarios than I can remember in one stretch. And nothing was more significant than the Bears having a timeout, 30 seconds on the clock, and somehow using all 30 seconds to pull off one ugly play and end the game.
Snatched defeat from the jaws of victory.
What's crazy is the play before, or 2 plays before.
Yeah, before the sack.
Two plays before, before the sack, they had completed a pass to Keenan Allen, putting them inside the 10-yard line. Now, it was called back due to penalty. But being inside the 10 to go outside of field goal range, and then there's a lot of discussion about who's to blame.
Everyone.
It is unconscionable that Caleb Williams would change the play at the line of scrimmage.
He forgot how time worked for a little bit.
That's insane.
I also think I know in his post-presser or whatever, he said, I guess we had a timeout or whatever, but I think he thought they didn't have a timeout and was going for it all and changing the play. I don't know what happened, but it was
doesn't make it better.
No. I'm not saying that makes it better.
I hope he was drunk.
So there is a piece of this that is on Eberflus, and obviously he got fired, and I think he should have been anyways, regardless of the botched ending. But he was the scapegoat. Not enough credit is being given to Caleb Williams for fouling the end of that game. I mean, as a quarterback, to not know the situation, I mean, they were at the line of scrimmage with 16 seconds left, plenty of time, and they shouldn't have taken a timeout. They should not have. They should have continued to let the clock wind and gotten into field goal range. That was the goal of, I was like, when you hit that sack, I was like, okay, you just got to let the clock run down, take the field goal, get a couple extra yards, then take your timeout, kick the field goal. Now, once it got down to 10 seconds, 9 seconds,
I think it was
8
7
seconds.
when it got snapped.
Yeah,
but
I think maybe even 6. At that point, maybe the coach should call timeout and say, you don't know what you're doing.
At 10 seconds, the coach has to pull the ripcord and say,
you know who did that?
Screwed this up.
At the end of the half, Mike Tomlin. Clock was running out. He came down and he said timeout.
Yep.
It was just ineptitude.
Let's take a moment, and that was – oh, man, that was a good time.
But to add to the Bears firing Matt Eberflus news, the rumors of Cliff Kingsbury.
Yeah, Ben Johnson will be he'll be the number one.
He's the belle of the ball,
yes,
for sure. And what I love about him, the offensive coordinator for the Detroit Lions, is that he doesn't have a superstar the coordinator for the Chiefs is always up for talk of head coaching, but that just always reminds me of Adam Gase, who was he was such a good coordinator with Peyton freaking Manning. It's like I want someone who's got Jared Goff playing like an MVP as my coach.
You don't think the Bears are looking to Matt Nagy?
Bring him
new
back.
offensive coordinator of the Chiefs. No, you're right. Yeah, he's done a lot with Jared Goff in that offense and knows how to build a system. And I credit Cliff for managing his universe really well. He went and found the college program to be the offensive coordinator of the number one pick again.
He's playing the game very well.
Yeah. James Conner, you mentioned the Shmoney 2-year extension worth $19 million for the Cardinals. I don't know if anybody on the planet, when he went to Arizona in 2021, would have imagined 4 solid seasons in a new contract, but he's done it, and he is the heartbeat of the team inside the locker room and on the field.
Yeah, on the offensive side of the ball, for sure. Him and Budda Baker are the rocks of the franchise. So it made complete sense for the Cardinals to give him a 2-year extension, but, man, get bodied rookie running backs.
Yeah.
This has got to be the
Chuba
worst.
got paid, so Jonathan Brooks is behind him.
Yep. I mean, this is like the worst overall rookie running back class I can remember since Bishop Sankey's season.
Yeah. I mean, you're right. And expect Trey McBride to get paid by this team in the offseason too. The Chargers placed J.K. Dobbins on IR The clock struck midnight for J.K. Dobbins. Austin Eckler on IR with his concussion.
Yeah.
Hollywood Brown, I have not heard that name in a while. Expected to meet with a specialist and could return?
Yeah, I saw some videos of him doing some workouts.
Interesting.
I mean, this is probably very irrelevant for fantasy football purposes, but relevant for the Chiefs and their Super Bowl aspirations.
Well, yeah, it's Christian McCaffrey.
Dude.
Left Sunday Night Football, went down after a long run. The next play kind of went down on his own knee injury. And the reports right now is that his season is over.
That's the fear. And if you are, honestly, the 49ers, you just gave Christian McCaffrey more money. You're not toast in the division. Where are they?
Oh, they're bottom, but I mean they're got to be a game out.
They're 5-7.
That's the concern.
2 games out.
The concern is, okay, even if it's you don't declare it season ending right now, but you're like, it's a PCL injury. He's going to miss multiple weeks, and now like how are the 49ers going to do? I mean, it's Chicago and the Rams and Miami are the next 3 games, and so it's you need to approach waivers tomorrow like Christian McCaffrey is done for the year.
And hopefully you took the advice of every waiver day, you know, the Braylon Allens of the world, the Jordan Masons of the world, the Jordan Masons of the world, the Jordan Masons of the world.
Why are you saying that?
Man.
Al Borland is –
I was rostering my own insurance
you
for
did the right thing.
I just wanted to get you on camera because you and I are reacting together in sadness because –
I had to drop Jordan Mason, and unfortunately one of our opponents who's definitely competing picked him up.
He was already the favorite to win the league, and he just added Jordan Mason. All right, unfortunate. Also season ending, Taysom Hill.
Yeah.
We didn't get to see what it was going to turn into in New Orleans. Carted off with a knee injury. The fear is a season-ending injury. It was bad. It looked bad. And it's over.
And he's 34 years old.
I know. I wonder if that's the last down we see from him.
I just because of how much they love him, I'm sure they will allow him to come back and play again. But that's the last relevant down that we'll see because it'll be, I don't know, is he going to be 35, 36 before he'd be able to get back to full strength?
Depends on, what
he's 34.2. So it was a recent birthday.
Sure, but it's a late season injury. So
he was already the oldest.
Yeah, he's already old. So that's really, really sad.
Trevor Lawrence left early due to a car accident that happened on the field. Yeah, it was scary. He says he's doing well, feeling better, but it was a concussion. It was violent.
On a slide.
Yeah, it was one of those things we had a hard time debating. Like the majority reaction was that the hit was one of the dirtiest hits in the history of the National Football League. That was the majority reaction. Jason, did you see the play?
I saw the play. I didn't watch it with you guys live, so I don't know what your reaction was in the moment. And I don't know if I'm way out of left field. I didn't think it was that dirty.
That's kind of where we got to.
I mean, it was obviously a late hit, a penalty, a flag, and it's awful that it ended up, concussing Trevor Lawrence. But it didn't look to me like a dirty play where it was really trying to play a foul and injure him. He was running full speed and bang.
There were 2 plays in the Philly game where Jalen Hurts slid pretty late and got hit similarly, just didn't get concussed. I do think the majority of the time when a player is going down like that, your job as a defender, even if you've committed, is to try to jump over the guy. Try not to the forearms are what got that part to me was the egregious nature is that, yes, you had committed. Yes, it was a late slide. But from the point you recognize the slide, he completed the act. That's where I felt like it was egregious to me.
To me, it was Lawrence was sliding and the defender was diving at the exact same moment of, like, I don't know what you do as the defender. I mean, to not complete, you put your arms down. Now you're just coming in with a shoulder or a helmet.
Well, he's likely to get suspended for better or for worse. I understand the debate.
It's an almost impossible situation for these defenders because the quarterback is protected rightfully so. The quarterback is the product of when we have bad quarterbacks. The NFL is awful. So guess what? They get special treatment, and that's fine.
As they should.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. As they should. But as you can't move forward with this, like, well, I've kind of got this force field on me. That means you're not allowed to hit me. And Lawrence took it to the limit. Like he got as close as he could, which he's trying to get a first down. I get it. But he could have slid 2 yards earlier to try and protect himself. Like an Aaron Rodgers play happened like just after that, where the defender was barreling down on him, and Rodgers like, oh no, you're 5 yards away. I'm sliding now because I'm not taking a shot. So it's really, really difficult. If you're going to have the protections on the quarterback, you have to have there has to be reasonable.
Well, and it's also really tough because you see quarterbacks exploit it. Where they
what
slow down,
and do a fake,
like they're going to, and then they go.
And we'll be like, that was the greatest play I've ever seen. And the defender's like, I'm not allowed to hit him. What am I supposed to do?
Or like going out of bounds. I mean, we've seen that with Mahomes, where he's like going out and looks like he's going to just go out, so the defender pulls up. Don't want to have a late hit out of bounds, and then it's like, gotcha, sucker.
That's what I'm saying of using your protection, and I don't know. It's really hard.
Chargers Ladd McConkey left the fourth quarter with a knee injury. Every single time Ladd McConkey got up in this game, he looked like he was hurting.
It's been all season. If you haven't watched it, like I've had Ladd as one of my guys all year, and I'm afraid after every play. I feel like he is. I don't know. He needs. I want him to put on about 2 inches and 20 pounds.
It reminded me yesterday of Danny Amendola, of just like
the health meter.
Yeah, every hit you're like, he's running out of power, man. He was 12 targets, 9 for 117. Like he was the dude, and he was balling out.
8 of them in the first half, and he was outrageously good. But that is a good comp, and that is the problem with Ladd McConkey is that he's a great player. And I know that sounds ridiculous.
He's too good.
But when you're 6 foot 180 and you're a great player, you know what you do? You put your body on the line for the play. He consistently goes up for contested catches. He will put his body on the line, and he's not big enough to withstand the hits like a bigger player.
Got to go watch some Tyler Lockett film, dude.
He really does. I mean, Tyler Lockett.
Okay. Just go down.
Yeah.
Just go down.
He's made a career of longevity by get the ball, that's enough.
Now, Rashad Bateman left early with a knee injury, didn't return. You saw a lot of Aguilar. Now, they also asked John Harbaugh about Deontay Johnson, and he made some very ambiguous, very, very odd comments, basically saying, I'm not in a position to comment about his availability right now.
Hey.
So this is something that doesn't involve the body. It involves some kind of interpersonal, like Mike, you've been singing it from the rooftops that something isn't right in the locker room with Deontay Johnson on now multiple teams, and they needed him and they didn't give him snaps.
The pickup is going to be Likely. Like Isaiah Likely is going to step back into a full-time role.
Yeah, that's
it. Should Bateman be missing time, which they're on bye next week, so who knows?
Noah Brown left early, Commanders wide receiver. Baker Mayfield left with an ankle injury, came back, and he'll probably keep playing because they're fighting for their playoffs, and he's a tough son of a gun. Bucky Irving, if you watched him going into
tough.
If you watched him going into the locker room after the game, he was wrapped up like a mummy. He was limping, but he left it all on the field. DK Metcalf, he left due to apparently
what the DK Metcalf one was so wild. He went down and it was the way that he did I'm trying to get up multiple times, and when you see that you go, oh no, he's trying so hard to stand up, and his body every time he goes to get up, his body's like, no, you can't do that. And then cut to him on the sideline, arms around 2 of the staff from Seattle, can barely make it in to the blue tent. About 30 seconds later, catching passes. Like Dude, what happened? How can you be that hurt that you can't even get up on your own power? You can't walk on your own power. 2 grown men are carrying you, and you're like, no, I'm good. Back onto the football field.
I think it could be a fear of, like, for the player, like Metcalf, if he believed in that moment that he tore his ACL or something, and he was, then they go in.
Don't touch it. Don't look at it.
Yeah, don't, I can't look. That's what happens.
Like DK, no, we tested. It's okay. Oh, guy, can I go back in?
Yeah, exactly.
It was, dude, the sequence, because it was so fast from the shot of him being limped off to him being back in the game. It was like 30 seconds.
All right, that was today's news and notes presented by USAA Insurance. Learn more at usaa.com/insurance.
This week's Fantasy Stud Muffins.
Well, the snow couldn't stop Josh Allen. He was the leading scorer in 4-point passing leagues. He also threw a touchdown to himself. If you didn't see the play, he threw the ball to Amari Cooper. Amari Cooper pitched it back to him improvisationally,
yes,
and then he caught it and ran it in for a touchdown. He had a rushing touchdown later. He had a touchdown to Mac Hollins in the game.
Only quarterback to ever have a passing touchdown, rushing touchdown, and a receiving touchdown.
He is the MVP frontrunner after this dominating victory, a demolishing, if I may.
Yeah.
And then Jaden Daniels, Russell Wilson, Mike start of the week.
Hey.
Caleb for the second straight week. Caleb is like fool's gold because if you put him into your lineup, he'll disappear.
Well, some people had him in their lineup against me. Thanks, Papa Josh.
Oh, did he?
The Dino.
Did he? Yeah.
That was going really, really well for about 3.5 quarters.
Yeah, Caleb. And then Lamar in the stinkiest, nastiest.
Oh, the garbage man can.
Yes.
Lamar, added 35% of his points to his score in the last 30 seconds of the game.
In 4-point per passing touchdown leagues, in the final unimportant minute of the game, he added over 9 fantasy points.
Yeah, he had a huge, almost 40-yard rush and then a touchdown. So, other performers this week that got it done. Tua on Thursday, we know.
Anthony Richardson.
Yes, Anthony Richardson.
50%.
He got 12 for 24 from the in the passing game. Yeah, from the pocket. He had only 8 pass attempts, I think, in the first half. But great job. Great job. And Kyle Borgononi said Richardson would have 3 combined touchdowns, which took him to the last second of the game, but he got it done as they beat New England. He goes into the bye, then Denver coming out of it.
No, thank you.
So be careful.
Yeah, and then Tennessee.
Top 5 running back scorers of the week: Bucky Irving, Bijan Robinson, Najee Harris, Joe Mixon, and Rico Dowdle. Irving 25 for 152 and 1. Bijan 26 for 102. The risk with Bijan right now is a quarterback change, which always is a variable that is terrifying. But if you look at Kirk Cousins, the last 3 weeks, 0 touchdown passes, 6 interceptions, including 4 in this game. I mean, they lost exclusively because of Kirk Cousins in this game. The Chargers scored 0 offensive touchdowns.
I understand bringing it up, but, man, the intestinal fortitude of a division-leading team. I know they're only 6-6, but they're at the top of the division right now. Making a playoff push to put a rookie in would be wild, and yet it's not. It's not an impossible thing.
It would be a Tomlin-esque move. It would be saying, I can't win the title with this guy, and they probably won't do it.
Imagine the team. Like, hey, remember when y'all laughed at us on draft night? And now Michael Penix is getting some snaps to get into the playoffs. It would be, that would be great.
They're going on the road to Minnesota next week. Tough defense.
I would enjoy it. And I don't know if we can fully glean anything from this, but old quarterbacks versus Achilles injuries are 0-2 right now.
That is a good point.
Because Kirk is playing terrible, and Aaron Rodgers is playing perhaps even worse.
It's hard to watch them. Josh Jacobs got it done again. James Cook with the big run last night. He's the RB7 in fantasy points per game. And the biggest problem for him is fantasy playoff week 1 is Detroit, in Detroit. But James Cook can catch the football, and you'd hope he could get involved there. Kyron Williams got back into the end zone 2 straight weeks after a drought. Brian Robinson looking like potentially a very important piece down the stretch with no Austin Eckler rest of season.
For sure. I mean, he has looked good all season. He's got a nose for the end zone, but now with even more work expected his way, B-Rob should be winning people championships.
Also, I mentioned him, but 13 for 94 on the ground, Chris Rodriguez.
Yeah,
They liked him. They gave him carries when when they needed him in the past, and they did it again.
McNichols only got 6 opportunities.
And another great game for a running back who is not a running back. 14 rushing yards, but 9 targets, 8 for 56 and a touchdown from Devon Achane, doing what he has done recently, which is most all of his fantasy value comes in the passing game, and that's totally cool. That's fine.
We're fine with it. Jonathan Taylor, Jason, your start of the week, got it done. He had a receiving touchdown.
On his only target.
And but he's 25 for 96 on the ground and goes into the bye, and then Denver, Tennessee after that. So we'll see how that pans out for Jonathan Taylor. Top 5 at wide receiver, Terry McLaurin continues to get it done, machine-like, 23.3 fantasy points. Keenan, we're doing it again.
What?
We're doing it live.
It's unbelievable. The first half of that game, Caleb Williams and the entire I don't remember the stat, but it was basically like he had 5 yards. I mean, it was like he did nothing in the first half. And then the second half, the Bears offense came alive.
Well, the one thing to look at with these defensive matchups against Detroit down the stretch is that no team has more players put on the injured reserve than Detroit. And so from a defensive perspective, there are going to be some holes as they try to find personnel to fill in. So
I'm glad you're reminding me of that. That was something when I was watching. I was like, we need to remember to pound the table over this. Detroit's defense has been really, really good over the last 2 months. It's almost impossible for them to be good in the next week or two because they lost so many players. And you saw it in that game. It's like, oh, apparently if you lose enough players on defense,
they still won.
Yes,
they did still win.
They did still win. Thank you to Caleb Williams.
But you're right. Yeah, I mean, it's something you got to pay attention to. Maybe that won't be as intimidating down the stretch, at least in the passing game. Mike Evans, welcome back. He finished 3rd. Parker Washington in Jacksonville in the comeback attempt. And then Adam Thielen. 19.9
I should have had 2
fantasy points.
I
You
can't
love
believe
to see it. And he was open. He made one-handed catches. He had touchdowns.
They
He
stole
was
my
great.
touchdown.
Why did they not call the catch child? Okay, because the whole world.
For the first touchdown, he
those-
would have had 2.
Yes,
Yes.
the entire world knows he caught a touchdown. There was, video evidence of catching a touchdown.
There was a slight
Bobble.
hit the ground bobble that I don't think we got the clear angle because they didn't have a camera on the other side.
Because
They can't afford enough cameras.
No, we can't. Which, what game was it we were watching, Andy? And I'm like, and it was a perfect sideline shot of the line of scrimmage. I'm like,
They have them
so
sometimes.
we have these.
What
but,
if they had a
But we don't have them everywhere.
What if they had a floating camera top down that followed the ball no matter where the ball is?
Yeah.
It
Interesting.
always tracked with the ball exactly, and it moved with the ball, so it's always directly above the ball.
Because
Then you'd always see straight down in high resolution on the lines.
I think passing would cause issues there.
We've got the technology.
we can zoom in from satellites. Like, just put it in the roof. We can figure this out because the Pittsburgh Steelers and Russell Wilson, I stand by this, are owed a passing touchdown because the lateral to Najee was not a lateral. This was a forward toss.
Oh, that's
I need the league to look into this.
probably not true.
It's true.
But in soccer, for offsides penalties or for the goal crease, they have like all these 3D models, and they can go. They just in tennis with the lines, they've got all the 3. They know how to do it.
But that's because they know where the goal is. And so in the NFL, they have no idea where the ball's going to be when it's near the end zone.
Yeah, never mind. I won't ask for it. 16
See
targets.
the price of cameras these days.
16 targets for DJ Moore. If this Waldron offense keeps going, DJ Moore he could be a
non-Waldron.
Or sorry, yes, if the non-Waldron offense, DJ Moore's target 7-7, 16 catches 7-7-8 and scored in 2 straight.
It took him 16 targets to get to 8 catches, though. That's not the greatest.
But hey, you know what?
And a lot of design screens. So.
New OC. And Adam Thielen 8 for 99 and a touchdown. And then
Nick Westbrook.
he is inevitable.
I can't.
Nick Westbrook-Akine.
I'm telling you, he has the perfect matchup the next 2 weeks against Jacksonville and Cincinnati.
You're saying I get him in my lineup?
I'm saying people will be putting him in their lineups, and it will not happen when it should.
2 touchdowns for Westbrook-Akine. I believe because he's on the field for every snap. That's why I like him. You know, his run is perfectly corollary
It's unbelievable.
with Hopkins leaving. He
has 20 catches on the season. 20 catches all season. He has 8 touchdowns. I mean, it's just like, and it's
impossible.
over and over and over, and it's every single week. So yeah, I mean, go ahead, put him in your lineup.
He took your doubt, and he said, "Give me 2.
Yeah,
Give me 2 touchdowns."
man.
Jaden Reed, Jamar Chase.
Maybe Will Levis should target him more.
Yeah, Jamar Chase has 13 receiving touchdowns. Jaden Reed scored twice. Good to see. Ladd McConkey had the big game. Nico Collins keeps it going. 8 for 119, heading into the bye.
He's very good.
Tight ends, Brock Bowers, 25.2 fantasy points.
Talk about very good.
10 for 140. Plays a soft Tampa defense next week. Jonnu Smith, Mark Andrews, Pat Freiermuth.
Hey, your start of the week.
Somehow, some way.
That's unbelievable.
And Trey McBride, who now he's the first tight end in history with 12 receptions in back-to-back games, still has no touchdown.
Fewer receiving touchdowns than Josh Allen.
Oh, man. It's ridiculous.
So
It is truly ridiculous. And a special shout-out to Mark Andrews on
Oh, my God.
his mitts, man. His mitts.
Like, we see hard catches every single week, and so it's weird because you're just running at the ball with both hands.
Yeah.
But somehow the placement of the ball with all the defenders around him,
it was
him
like
elevating. It was like there's a man in there and there's children.
I mean, when I saw that play live,
man.
I couldn't believe
Yes.
you can't throw the ball into unless it's a Hail Mary. You can't throw the ball into a crowd of 16 defenders.
Yeah, it was a terrible decision.
And then
And it was
Andrews
a great,
just goes up and goes, ah!
It was a great decision.
Oh, that catch was awesome.
Sam Laporta out here tempting everybody with 2 touchdowns on 6 yards.
Oh, it's diabolical.
Diabolical. Yeah. Let's take a break. We'll talk duds. All right. Not everything was great.
Pooped in his big boy pants.
Well, nobody's pooped more significantly than the Kirk Cousins-Aaron Rodgers combination. Rodgers not over 200 yards, gave the game away. Like, both those guys didn't just not play well. They both actively lost the game. Pick 6 for Rodgers, 4 picks for Cousins.
After
Has
for
to go to
Rodgers,
Minnesota.
missing a layup touchdown.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. He is he sucks.
Sheesh.
CJ Stroud.
The
one
biggest
was-
head scratcher.
Yeah.
I believe he's ranked 33rd in points per game over the last 4 weeks or something like that.
What?
He has
Some kind of outrageous stat.
It's not been great, and the matchup was. I mean,
This was the match.
This is what you've been waiting for.
Well, he's played 13 games. How many 20-point games does he have, Jason?
I'm gonna guess 0.
No, we
1?
got one. It was against Jacksonville the first time.
It's one. His consistency is F. How many in his last 17? 11% over 20 points.
Oh,
That is not playable. That is game manager. Now, he's a better NFL quarterback than he is a fantasy quarterback. So they're winning games. they don't look dominant.
No, he's on pace right now over a 17-game stretch to throw fewer than 20 passing touchdowns.
And I'm fully out now. Like, this was the one with Nico back, Jacksonville matchup, giving up 300 a game, believing in him. I unbelieve.
Yeah, this feels a lot like sophomore year Baker Mayfield, where hard to remember how highly loved and drafted Baker was after his rookie breakout season, and then it felt like fool's gold right afterwards.
Herbert, just 147 through the air, no touchdowns. This was a huge letdown against Atlanta. Geno Smith, just one touchdown, 20 for 31, just 200 yards against the Jets, and then Brock Purdy in the snow.
Yeah, that one was.
Nobody's playing him. Mm-hmm. Running back duds.
Ugh.
Kenneth Walker.
Yep.
16 for 49, 3 targets for -3 yards, 61% of snaps. Charbs is on the field 45% of the time.
That's fine. It's just the
bone zone, the Charbonne zone.
Yeah, they had, which in that, I laid out the sequence of goal line attempts. Kenneth Walker did get 2 attempts, but it's the garbage of, okay, well, we're so much more manly than you. We're going to run it right up the middle instead of you. Kenneth Walker is fast and agile. Give him a toss. Let him run to the edge. He will beat everybody.
I think we might be missing some things on Walker.
Okay, what's that?
You're saying like injury?
No, I'm saying like effectiveness. I know we believe in Walker, but this happened last year. If he doesn't have the big play,
yes, that is true.
His efficiency is really, really bad. He's got 1 game in his last 9 above 4 a carry. Okay,
yeah,
that's
on the season he's sub 4.
That's 1 in 9 games where he's above that, and it was a big play in that game. And what I see with Ken Walker is that he can give you the big play, but he strings the ball outside. He's looking to do too much with the ball a lot of the time because of his athleticism. And so because of that, he goes backwards.
Can I ask a funny personal question?
Bucky Irving.
Yeah, Bucky Irving or Kenneth Walker?
Yeah, Bucky Irving Bucky Irving now, Bucky Irving later.
Yeah, that's just ironic because this is another example of why you don't veto trades. We had a trade happen in our league earlier this year that the bones of it were Kenbone Walker and Bucky Irving.
Yeah,
and it felt so egregious and bad. There was more to the trade, but it was like, why would someone do this giant mistake? Kenneth Walker is so much more valuable than Bucky Irving. Fast forward a month, and it's like, there's no question you'd rather have Bucky Irving than Kenneth Walker.
And I know the person that traded away Bucky Irving to get Kenneth Walker is so unhappy right now.
Yeah,
with the way the season has trended. Breece Hall, another name that is underwhelming. 12 for 60, no touchdown, 1 fumble.
No, 2 fumbles.
2.
Breece, oh yeah, he had 2.
What, like
what,
one in your
one
heart?
Lost?
Yeah, 1 lost.
Okay,
but he put it on the ground.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I know, Breece.
Oh man.
Because you know how I know? Because it scores negative for fantasy. Thanks, Breece.
Isaiah Pacheco back on the field, just played 37% of snaps. It turned Pacheco and Hunt into useless.
Yeah.
Useless.
Really thought Kareem would get a lot more work out there.
He didn't. 7
No.
for 15 and looked bad. Tony Pollard, huge dud game against Washington. Aaron Jones, 2 fumbles in this game, 1 lost. Did score a touchdown late, but was
He
ineffective
was,
on the ground.
And a dropped touchdown pass. Yeah. He was really having a terrible game until he scored the game-winning touchdown.
And the Gus Bus was not running. No gasoline. 6 for 32 on the ground, just half the snaps, and looked bad. Chuba Hubbard fumbled, didn't have a good game. It was nice to see Jonathan Brooks on the field for the first time.
Yeah, well, and actually getting some touches there.
He got involved in the receiving game. He showed some wiggle. And Travis Etienne, 13 for 46, did his best. Tank Bigsby just 7 for 28 and had fewer snaps. If you're trying to figure out who to start, it seems like it's Etienne right now.
Yeah.
Wide receiver letdowns, Cooper Kupp, 3 for 17. That was
That was
Outrageous.
insane. I quizzed Andy on, I don't remember the exact numbers but at halftime, Cooper Kupp was leading the Rams in receiving yards with
5?
It was 10, I believe.
Yeah, it was 10. It was like 1
at
for 10.
halftime, Matthew Stafford had 23 passing
Don't worry,
yards.
they won the game, Mike. They won. Garrett Wilson, 10
Dude,
targets.
10 targets.
5 for 41.
That's redonkulous.
Yeah, his last 3 games now have been.
He should have had a touchdown if he had a quarterback.
Devontae had 12 targets. He did have a touchdown. But if you look at that, like 5 for 10 there, 5 for 12, right? Is that what the –
It's been bad the last 3 weeks.
I was trying to pull up the completion percentage for Devontae Adams. He caught 5 of 12. Yeah. So that means they caught 10 of 22 targets? Superstars, right?
Anthony Richardson stuff.
Ooh. Oh, boy. There's a chance Rodgers gets benched.
Oh yeah, there is. I mean, he's not their future. I don't think he's going to be a Jet next year. I mean, why would you want him to be?
Is it unseemly of me to request that when they do the benching, that they do it in a slightly non-traditional manner and they tell him the wrong game time?
That would be cool, but I think
Like if he shows up and the game's already over,
oh,
that's what I mean. Like,
I just worry that he's going to know when the team is leaving. You know, I'm guessing he usually travels with everybody.
I doubt that.
That's true.
I thought you were going to say like he has, like in the old cop movies, it's like you turn in your badge and your gun, and it's like turn in your helmet and your pads, but they like do it on the sideline.
Oh yeah, that works.
I just want it public. That's all. I want I want the conversation, to be able to be watched.
We have breaking news. Jets interim coach Jeff Ulbrich told reporters today that Aaron Rodgers will continue to start, giving the team the best chance to win. He's our quarterback.
All right.
We can all
That's some Sutton stuff right there.
We can all hope for some. I mean, because yesterday he said he was kind of unequivocal. Or is that the right word?
Oh man.
Amari Cooper's not getting it done in Buffalo yet. Now the snow is a reason why, but also we haven't seen it yet.
He did on the Josh Allen touchdown that was
Receiving touchdown.
the receiving touchdown, which was
Does he
Amari
get anything
Cooper's,
for that?
Amari Cooper got the reception.
He gets
yeah.
the catch and some yards. Yeah.
But he needs to get credit for the catch because the throw was terrible.
Yeah.
Throw was behind him, and he reaches his arm out back behind him and one hands
Which
that thing.
Allen talked about it of like the reason that Josh Allen ran over there is because he's like, I threw such a bad ball that I didn't know what was going to happen with it, so I ran. I was going to like help out,
tackle an interception.
He's like he felt like he might have thrown a turnover,
Yeah.
and then gets a receiving touchdown.
Yeah, it's fun to watch them right now. Deebo Samuel retired on the field again, 4 for 20 with a fumble. So I know it's snow,
Yeah.
But you would honestly expect Debo
why didn't he get rushing work?
to
Yes.
have like a snowy game. To me, would be where Debo should shine. And if you told me, hey, it's going to be a snow bowl and you're going to lose Christian McCaffrey, I'd be like, how many carries did Debo get? Did he get like 6, 7,
0?
touches on the ground? None.
Yeah. Yeah.
The Niners are hard to figure out right now.
They are.
Well, they're. I think they're just bad. I think they're just a bad team. Mike said it on Sunday Live. They were the biggest underdogs of the week,
Mm-hmm.
and that was with CMC.
It wasn't big enough.
No, just they looked like they couldn't get anything done, and I was honestly surprised they kept Purdy out there as long as they did in a game like that. So their odds of making the playoffs are tremendously low because the problem
Their
with
schedule's very difficult.
Their schedule's difficult. They're 2 games behind, and they've lost to everybody in the division. So their tiebreaker right now situation is they have to gain 3 games, and how many? We got 5 games left.
Mhm.
How many games are left?
5. Yeah.
Okay, nailed it.
They beat Seattle, so they have 1 divisional win.
Have they played both their games against Seattle?
Yeah, they've split.
Yeah, and I think they I think I heard yesterday they have no tiebreakers.
Yes, because
over anybody in the division.
I believe the
divisional record.
tiebreaker
Yes.
after the direct head-to-head is divisional.
Yes. Quentin Johnston caught 2 passes for 12 yards.
He had another drop.
Yeah. They made sure to show it on
the one where he caught it again, but it was out of bounds when he caught it, or a different drop?
I thought he had a different drop.
Probably. I mean,
Just saying, like the mental side of the game is tough for him right now, and it's like if he drops something, I think the day is toast.
Kittle busted in the snow, just one catch. You can kind of throw that out. As long as Purdy's back, Kittle will be good.
Mm-hmm.
Hawkinson 3 for 28. A lot of puns that were just not ones I was going to put into the show about T.J. Hawkinson. I don't know. People were just feeling
Something
bad.
about Spatch.
Yeah.
Spatchhawk. K. Dotton 4 for 20.
Oh, including should have had a touchdown, but
yeah,
And he dropped a screen pass that was like,
yeah, it was weird.
That probably what
he had 7 targets, so you were happy to see that again.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I mean. I feel like Cade Otton himself let us down.
He will be starting for me because I lost Taysom Hill and it's over for Taysom. So, and then let's have a moment here. Sadness.
I don't think.
Do we have the goose? I mean, Will Disley, whatever. People were starting him.
Yeah.
They were hoping. They didn't get anything.
You know what you're getting into.
But Kyle Pitts, he played 40% of snaps. Kyle Pitts over the last 4 games has been
The last 4 games, the 17-game pace would be 25 receptions on the year.
he's toast.
Yeah, he's not very involved.
There's another.
How much of
there's
this
a
is
pun,
Kirk Cousins?
There's a pun I can think of for him.
Kyle Poops.
Sure.
How does he have this stretch?
How much is Kirk Cousins? I don't know. The 60% he wasn't on the field wasn't Kirk Cousins.
88 yards, 70 yards, 65, 91, and I'm done for the year.
Well, the part of it was he had a 52-yard, a 50, and a 49 this year in 3 separate games. So it was big plays. So tomorrow we'll get into waivers. We'll get into streaming quarterbacks. We'll get into Hungry for More on Wednesday, Thursday night preview, mailbag starts of the week, matchup breakdowns, and the Wheel of Shame. Who got that one?
That's
Not me.
That one's me this time.
Who won, me or you, Jay?
You did.
Okay.
You had a monster, put up like 165 points, which for a Thanksgiving day is really good.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, I guess I that wasn't sarcasm, Al. I know you looked at me like I was setting up the brag.
It felt like a little horn tootie. Yeah.
It wasn't. We were following along, but then like I went away from the last 2 minutes of the games, and I think Tua and somebody else scored 1,000,000 points, and I was surprised.
Yeah, it was close for a while, and then also you weirdly did not join our actual contest, so it was very difficult to track.
Has happened. That has happened before. Not sure why, but Mike, you can enjoy a fabulous Friday on the house.
Yep.
All right, that'll do it for today's episode of the show. Thank you, Al. Thank you, Papa Josh. If you notice, there's a missing deucer, but
He's
I wouldn't say
sick.
we're missing him.
Oh, got him.
All right, I better push this button. That is it for the Fantasy Footballers today, but there'll be a Fantasy Footballers tomorrow. Take care, everybody.
Goodbye.
Thank you for listening to another episode of the Fantasy Footballers Podcast. Join our fantasy football community on jointhefoot.com and follow us on Twitter @TheFFBallers.